Yeah, I just wanted to give you an update on what I was doing. Let me put you up here. So what we did was we removed all the excess material that was on here. Took out all the supports that was holding everything up when it was being printed. Took everything out of the holes. Came out pretty good. I was surprised. So we had to hit it with the Dremel tool. Had to open up these slots for the motor. They were tight. Had to put a slot in here for that motor. I thought I could get it to go in here, but it wouldn't go. Had to put a slot in there. So I got the motor here. I thought I could get it to go in there, but I can't because it's hitting this piece right here. That's that little extra piece I added so I'd have a little more meat for those holes. So I had to put that slot in there so I could put it in like that. Then it'll go in like that and then slide up in there. That's where it goes there. Now these holes for the mounting for the motor, I added an extra 10 thousandths diameter to those holes. But I guess that wasn't enough. I don't know if it's the setting in the 3D printer or, but usually I have to make the holes 10 thousandths bigger than what they're supposed to be for things to fit, but these were actually quite a bit more undersized, so like I said, I had to take the Dremel tool and kind of open them up a little bit. And it's not easy to, I mean, it's easy to open these holes up, but what happens is that on these printed parts, there's you got this, what they call the skin, and underneath here is all basically honeycomb. So once you get through this, it's like cardboard. You know, it's the same thing as like cardboard. You got that skin on the outside of the cardboard, then inside is that wavy pattern. So let me see if I can see inside of there. It's just once you break through that skin, it's just hollow. So whatever, you have to incorporate the things into your model because you can't like add anything later because there's nothing there. Anytime you have a hole or anything, it builds up a wall around it. All these surfaces, there's a wall all around the inside of that part. It's about, I don't know, I'd say about 15 thousandths thick. But if you go to cut it, you cut through that wall, there's like nothing there. So that's why you have to incorporate all your stuff into your part, into your model before you make it, because you can't really add anything after that. And that's the thing I was thinking about with this. You know, originally I was going to have the belt in there, and this piece was actually part of that, and I was going to take the belt and feed it through in here and attach it to the pulleys and this and that. And the more I thought about it, I don't think that was a good idea. So when I separated this part, I separated here where the belt is, and I was going to glue this back onto here, but then I couldn't service that belt. So now I'm going to try to add something to attach this onto there now. So what I was thinking was that I was going to use this hole. I put this hole in and this hole in, and I was going to use that as a alignment hole, some type of dowel pin hole, even though you only got that one skin area that's really got any material on it. Then I was going to use like these guys. I was going to try to incorporate it into here, maybe from the back side or from the front side, and sink it in there, because it's got like the thread on there. I can thread a bolt into it. I haven't really figured that out all the way yet. But it's looking pretty good. This is where that little belt goes. I got the pulleys machined, and I cut the 3/8 stock for the bearings. I got to trim I just cut them with the Dremel tool. I got to trim them. I got to put them in a collet, because you can't put them in a 3-jaw. You got to put them in a collet, or else you'll squeeze them. But yeah, I got that to go. That was a little tight. A little dirt on there maybe, but so what I plan on doing is I'm going to scuff the outside of this and then epoxy it into the part. Now this one, I got 3 different ones here. This long one goes into here. The little short one goes into here. And this one here goes into here. I don't want to put that. I don't want to put that in. I might not get it back out. That goes into there. So I turned those, and I drilled the ends for the motor shaft And the thing is that this is a 5 millimeter, which is what is it, 196 or something like that. $196.9, and I had a reamer. It was like 196 something, 196 and a half, and I thought, well, maybe it'll run out a little bit, but that didn't work. And we had a 198 reamer, and thing is that, when you got a precision shaft, you don't want to make the hole too big. So I ended up ordering a 197 and a half reamer. And it was like $27, so I'm waiting for that to come in, because I really didn't want to drill at the 198, because then it would have been sloppy. So I'll try the 197 and a half. So I'm waiting for that to come in. But yeah, this piece here, now this long piece goes on that motor that comes in from the back. And this is like the idler shaft. It goes in over here. This little belt goes here. It goes like that. Of course, it'll ride a lot better when I get those bushings in there. Well, this is what I was talking about before, the adjustment on here. I had to make this, going to put a square shaft in there with a little bearing that rides against that belt to take up any adjustment that I don't want it too sloppy. And I can't spread it apart because there's no place for adjustment on here. It's fixed. So the only thing I can adjust is the side of the belt itself. So that goes like that. So the motor turns this one, comes back, turns this one, and this one goes through. Goes into here. Then there's a belt that goes around here that rides on this surface that's going to make this move back and forth like that. Because this other motor, I got two motors just like this. So this motor goes in here and adjusts back and forth. Oh, they got a lot of lead on this wire. Oh, I got it backwards. Look at that. I'll tell you. Let me flip it around. So I got these, I just made these little like dowel pins that go in there. This is where the top motor goes. And this piece goes on there. These holes here, originally those, well, I'm using dowels right now just to hold this, but there's going to be a threaded piece in there, and that's what these holes are for, so I could thread it together so it won't come apart. But right now I don't want to put it together because I'm just playing with it, and I don't want to have to keep putting it together and taking it apart. But that goes like that. Then this ring, we talked about that ring before. And what I did was I took a cut on the inside of this ring, because when you make these parts, they're not true. So I took a cut on the inside of that ring to make it round, because it has all these little ridges in it. Same thing with this surface here. All these surfaces have little ridges in it from where this thing goes back and forth and puts down the plastic. Because I wanted this to slide on here real easy. I want a snug fit. I don't want a tight fit, and I don't want a loose fit. See, right now it's just a little too tight, and I think that's because the surface that this ring's going to ride on is not true. I got it to rotate. I sanded it a little bit, but I don't want to sand it too much because I don't want to distort it. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to try to clamp this together, put a bolt through there, and then take a cut. True that up a little bit. Get all the high spots off of it. I need this to rotate a little freer than that. So where this other belt's going to go, the one that turns this, is this belt's inverted. And I got the, well, I'm working on this, putting it together and trying to make it work. And, you know, I keep coming up with all these, you know, I had these ideas on how I was going to do it, but then when you get a final assembly, or not a final assembly, but you get an assembly, and you say, well, that's not going to work, I got to do something different there. That's like these holes here. I made them small so I could put a bolt in there, a 1024, to install the bearings. There's bearings that go up there. But then when I was here putting it together, I'm thinking, well, where's the head of the bolt going to go? Because there's no place for the head of the bolt to go, because there's going to be a cap on here. That's where the air bearing is, on top of here. So what I'm going to end up doing is putting pins in there So what I did, like right now, is I just took some bolts and I cut the heads off. And these are going to be like the pins I'm using now, even though they're not the right size. Well, they're the right size for the hole, but they're not the right size for the bearing, because the inside of the bearing is like 190, and that's why I was going to use a 1024 bolt, but there's no place for the head of the bolt, so I have to use pins. But these holes were made for 1024, which is a 165 diameter, but the inside of the bearing is 190. But you know, that happens. You know, it's like this list I got. I got like page and a half, almost 2 pages of things I have to change, but hey, that's okay. So anyway, there's going to be 2 sets of these bearings in there on each side. Then this belt goes in here. That's going to go around that motor with this one. Actually, it goes this way. This little piece on top, I'm going to put some kind of bracket up here to help hold that, so that the shaft isn't doing all the work. But anyway, that's how it goes, and then it's going to rotate. That's a little too stiff right there. As far as this air bearing is concerned, my original idea was to have a material against this belt. But then I realized with these bearings here, I can't do that. So I'm going to have to extend this surface out further and eliminate that backing piece that I was going to have there. So I can make this surface further out, because the cap I'm going to put on there now has got to make up that difference on this one. But the next one, I can extend this surface out further. But that's, you know, that's part of the deal, you know. You got something you can look at and try to get an idea on how to make it work. But it looks like I thought about. So it's getting there. I haven't run into any problems where I have to stop. I can still go. There's a lot of things I got to change and I want to change, but pretty much it's sticking to the plan. So it's looking pretty good. All right. Talk to you later.